Across the vast surface of our planet, there are places that defy everything science believes it knows. Regions where compasses spin aimlessly, waters burn without flame, and whispers echo from within the earth itself. Scientists map, measure, and analyze, yet some parts of Earth simply refuse to make sense, real places where logic collapses and mystery reigns. These are the places that science still cannot explain. It begins in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where pilots vanish and ships drift into silence. The Bermuda Triangle, a region roughly bordered by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, is infamous for one thing: disappearance. Since the early 1900s, hundreds of aircraft and vessels have vanished here without trace. Flight 19, a squadron of U.S. bombers training in 1945, radioed that their compasses were spinning and the ocean looked strange, then fell silent forever. Even search planes sent after them vanished too. Investigators blamed weather, human error, or magnetic anomalies. But that doesn't explain the ships found drifting without crews or the perfectly working radios that emit no signal. Some believe methane gas bubbles from the seafloor can sink ships. Others whisper that the triangle hides a doorway, a tear in time itself. Satellites still record strange magnetic readings in that patch of sea. The waves are calm, yet the air hums like static, as if the earth there remembers every soul it swallowed. Half a world away, in Tanzania, lies Lake Natron, a body of crimson water so deadly it can turn life to stone. At certain times of the year, the lake glows red, reflecting the sky like a pool of blood. Birds that land on its surface are found later hardened into ghostly statues, coated in salt and minerals so perfectly that they look sculpted. Scientists know the lake's alkalinity is extreme, its temperature near boiling, but they cannot explain why certain animals thrive on its edge, or why the lake's chemistry shifts unpredictably. Some nights it glows faintly blue as if lit from beneath. Locals believe it's the mirror between the living and the dead, a gate that petrifies any creature that mistakes it for heaven. Then there is Stonehenge, England's ancient riddle of stone. Massive slabs weighing more than 25 tons each stand aligned with the rising and setting sun. The site dates back 5,000 years, yet how these stones were transported remains unsolved. There are no nearby quarries. Some of the stones come from over 200 kilometers away, across rivers and hills. The precision of the alignment suggests deep astronomical knowledge, but even with modern tools, recreating Stonehenge exactly is nearly impossible. Archaeologists call it a temple. Astronomers call it a clock. But the local folklore says the stones were giants, turned to rock by a magician's curse. What's stranger, every time researchers dig beneath it, they find new circular patterns, as if something beneath the soil shifts with time. In the Peruvian desert, the Nazca lines stretch across miles of barren earth, massive drawings visible only from the sky. Shapes of monkeys, birds, and spiders carved into the desert floor with mathematical precision. No one knows who made them or why. The lines are too perfect to have been designed without aerial guidance. Some scholars claim they were ritual walkways. Others believe they were messages to gods or visitors from the heavens. Even NASA scientists who studied them admitted they mimic certain constellations with uncanny accuracy. The desert never erases them, despite winds and centuries. It's as if the ground itself wants them remembered. In Turkmenistan burns a pit that never dies, the door to hell. It began in 1971 when Soviet scientists drilling for gas accidentally collapsed a cavern beneath their rig. To prevent toxic release, they set the crater on fire, expecting it to burn for a few days. Over 50 years later, the flames still roar. The crater is nearly 70 meters wide, glowing day and night with a fury that never fades. The air trembles with heat, and travelers swear they hear a low hum beneath the roar, something like a distant voice calling up from the earth. Scientists cannot fully explain why it hasn't extinguished. Gas fields of similar composition elsewhere burn out quickly. Some believe new gas veins keep feeding it. Others wonder if the earth itself is breathing fire. In the Himalayas, Mount Kailash stands untouched. Revered by 4 religions, it is considered the axis of the world, the center of the universe. No one has ever successfully climbed it, not because it's unclimbable, but because those who tried never returned. The slopes are smooth, symmetrical, and eerily geometric, like a pyramid carved by the planet itself. Ancient texts call it the stairway between heaven and earth. Satellites show unusual energy readings near its peak, magnetic fluxes that pulse rhythmically like a heartbeat. Pilgrims who circle its base report strange sensations. Time feels slower, heartbeats quicken, compasses fail. Some faint, claiming to hear chanting in the wind. Scientists can measure the mountain, but not its power. Off the coast of Japan lies another triangle, the Devil's Sea, or Dragon's Triangle. Sailors have feared it for centuries. Like Bermuda, it swallows ships and planes without trace. Japanese fishermen tell stories of ghost ships drifting with no one aboard, sails torn, but food untouched. In the 1950s, an entire research vessel, the Kaio Maru No. 5, vanished here along with 31 crew members. The government declared the area dangerous and banned voyages through it for years. Some say underwater volcanoes caused the disappearances, but sonar scans show odd shapes beneath, rectangular ruins like submerged buildings. Japanese myth calls it the home of dragons. Scientists prefer silence. Farther south in Venezuela, the night sky flashes eternally. Over Lake Maracaibo, lightning storms rage almost every night, up to 200 bolts per hour. The storms never move, never stop, and have persisted for centuries. Meteorologists have tried to understand it. Warm winds, cold currents, methane emissions, but nothing explains the constancy. It's as if the sky itself is alive, feeding on the earth below. The indigenous Wari tribe calls it the eternal eye. Astronauts on the International Space Station can see the flashes from space, glowing like a heartbeat of light. And deep beneath the sands of Egypt, there are chambers no one can enter. In the Great Pyramid of Giza, scientists recently discovered a void larger than a passenger jet, sealed and untouched since construction. Its purpose is unknown. No entrance, no passage, no markings. It hums faintly when scanned by cosmic rays, as if filled with static. Engineers cannot explain how the pyramid's internal temperature stays at a constant 20 degrees Celsius year-round, despite the desert heat. The structure breathes like something alive, built with precision beyond its era. Many think it hides a lost chamber of knowledge. Others say it's not a tomb, but a beacon waiting for the stars to align once more. In the freezing lands of Siberia, craters appear suddenly in the tundra, massive holes that explode from the ground overnight. Locals describe hearing thunder before the earth opens. Scientists say methane buildup from melting permafrost may cause the eruptions, but that doesn't explain the perfect circular shapes or the hollow echo from below. Some explorers lowered microphones into one of them and captured sounds, steady, rhythmic vibrations like machinery running far beneath the surface. No one knows what lies there. The tundra swallows every probe, as if refusing to share its secret. Then there's Derinkuyu, the underground city of Turkey. Discovered by accident in 1963, it stretches 18 stories deep, enough to shelter 20,000 people. Entire living quarters, ventilation shafts, stables, and temples, carved from solid rock. Yet no one knows who built it or how. The tunnels are perfectly ventilated even today, as if designed with modern engineering. The tools required to dig such depth without collapse don't exist in ancient records. Some suggest it was a refuge from war or weather. Others believe it was built to hide from something far greater, something that hunted from the skies. Not all mysteries lie on land. In the depths of the Pacific lies a place called Point Nemo, the ocean's most isolated spot. The nearest human is often aboard the International Space Station, closer than anyone on Earth. Yet Point Nemo isn't empty. Instruments detect strange frequencies rising from its waters, sounds so loud they were once mistaken for submarines or whales. Scientists later named the noise the bloop. It was deeper, stronger, and stranger than any marine sound ever recorded. Officially, they say it came from shifting ice, but its pattern repeated, intelligent, almost rhythmic. Some oceanographers still believe something enormous lives in the dark. And then, there are places that exist only in fragments of myth, yet leave traces too real to ignore.
Atlantis, the shining city that sank beneath the waves.
Described by Plato as an empire of unmatched knowledge and technology, destroyed in a single night of fire and flood. For centuries, people searched everywhere: the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, Antarctica. Sonar maps reveal symmetrical formations beneath the ocean near the Azores, too precise for nature. Could it be coincidence, or the bones of a civilization erased from history? Scientists say no, but explorers keep diving. From the Bermuda Triangle to the deserts of Peru, the Earth hides secrets beneath beauty and terror. Every time scientists approach an answer, the mystery deepens. These places resist explanation as if guarding something ancient. Perhaps they're reminders that our planet is not just alive, but aware. Beneath the Amazon rainforest, satellites have detected geometric lines, perfect circles and squares carved into the earth, hidden under centuries of growth. They stretch for miles, connected by straight paths. Some are hundreds of meters wide, shaped too precisely to be natural. Archaeologists call them geoglyphs. But who built them? The soil around them predates known civilizations in the region. Locals believe they were landing sites for the gods, places where the sky once touched the jungle. Scientists argue they were ancient ceremonial sites. Yet no artifacts, bones, or signs of life have ever been found within them. Only silence, and a strange magnetic pull that interferes with compasses and drones. The jungle guards its past well. In Bolivia's highlands lies Pumapunku, a site so precise it seems mechanical. Massive stone blocks, each carved with perfect interlocking shapes and laser-sharp angles, fit together like puzzle pieces. Some are over 100 tons. Modern engineers admit they would struggle to recreate it without advanced tools. Yet Pumapunku is over 15 centuries old. The andesite rock it's made from is one of the hardest on Earth, and no chisels or saws of that time could cut it. Scientists say it must have been done with bronze tools and patience. But the grooves are too clean, too perfect. One line runs so straight that even laser scanners show no deviation. Ancient legends claim the stones were sung into place by gods who used sound to move mountains. Whether divine or human, no one knows how these stones came to rest where they stand. In Turkmenistan, the Darvaza crater burns eternally, but in Iran's Lut Desert, the land itself scorches with unexplainable intensity. It's one of the hottest places on Earth, temperatures exceeding 70 degrees Celsius on the ground, yet the heat comes not just from the sun. Instruments detect radiation and warmth radiating upward from beneath, as though the desert hides a furnace. The sand fuses into glass in some areas, forming fields of shimmering crystal. When night falls, the dunes glow faintly, releasing trapped heat like breathing embers. Scientists say it's geological. Travelers say it's cursed. Across the Indian Ocean, on a tiny island called Socotra, life itself looks alien. Trees grow twisted into impossible shapes, their branches thick like veins, dripping with red sap known as dragon's blood. The air smells of resin and salt. Over a third of the plants and animals here exist nowhere else on Earth. Scientists have studied its isolation for decades but can't explain how so many unique species evolved independently. Some DNA samples don't match any known evolutionary pattern. Socotra feels like a fragment of another world, a memory of Earth before mankind. In Iceland, a waterfall known as Dettifoss roars louder than thunder, throwing mist hundreds of feet into the air. People who stand nearby claim to feel vibrations deep inside their bones. Instruments confirm that frequencies below human hearing echo from the falls, resonating with the Earth's crust itself. Myths say it's a gateway to the underworld, where souls descend through water into silence. Scientists classify it as a microseismic zone, but the pulses remain rhythmic, as though something alive beats beneath the falls. In Africa's Sahara Desert, shifting sands hide the eye of the Sahara, the Reshat structure. From the ground, it's just endless dunes, but from space, it looks like a colossal blue eye staring upward. It spans nearly 50 kilometers in perfect concentric rings. For decades, scientists thought it was a meteor impact, but the shape is too symmetrical, too deliberate. Geological surveys show layers of rock arranged in ways inconsistent with natural formation. Some say it's the eroded skeleton of Atlantis, others call it the fingerprint of the gods. Astronauts on the International Space Station often photograph it, unable to look away from its impossible geometry. Deep under the waves near Japan's Yonaguni Island lies another riddle, stone terraces descending into the dark like a sunken city. Sharp angles, steps, and columns carved from solid rock. Divers call it the Yonaguni Monument. Some experts say it's natural erosion, but others see the clear hand of design. Massive pillars and flat walls suggest architecture. Currents shift unpredictably there, and divers report a sensation of weight pressing from below, as though the sea itself resists intrusion. When sonar scanned the site, echoes bounced back irregularly, almost like a heartbeat. Far to the north, in Norway's Hessdalen Valley, lights hover in the sky, balls of glowing white, red, and yellow drifting silently over the mountains. They appear in every season, every year. Pilots chase them, they vanish. Scientists have studied the valley for decades with cameras and instruments, recording hundreds of unexplained occurrences. The lights pulse, split, merge, and change shape. Some appear solid, casting shadows. Others shoot into the sky at impossible speeds. There's no radar signature, no heat trail. The locals don't fear them anymore. They just say, "The valley breathes tonight." In the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Chile and Easter Island, sailors report the sea glowing green under starlight. Entire waves shimmer, lighting up the ocean for miles. Satellites have confirmed the phenomenon only twice in history, so-called milky seas, caused by bioluminescent bacteria. But these sightings defy known biology. The glow lasts for days and covers areas larger than entire countries. The bacteria theory cannot explain why the light forms intricate spiral patterns, or why it follows ships as though aware. To some, it's a living ocean. Then there is the desert of Namibia, home to the fairy circles, perfectly round patches of barren sand surrounded by grass, stretching endlessly across the landscape. Each circle measures roughly the same size, each separated by equal distance, like a pattern burned into the earth. Scientists have offered theories, termites, vegetation competition, underground gases, but none fit all locations. The circles form, vanish, and reappear elsewhere over decades, as if migrating. Satellite photos show new ones appearing overnight, aligned with constellations above. Coincidence, perhaps. Or communication. In the Arctic, off the coast of Greenland, glaciers crack with sounds like gunfire. Yet deep within the ice, researchers have recorded frequencies that shouldn't exist. Low, continuous tones echoing upward, repeating every few minutes. Some say it's the ice shifting. Others claim it's something beneath. The sound is too structured, too steady. As the polar ice melts, new caverns emerge, vast hollow chambers glowing with blue light. Drones sent inside lose signal. The last footage recovered showed something metallic buried in the ice, reflecting the drone's own lights back like eyes. In Romania, the mobile cave remained sealed from the surface for over 5 million years. When scientists drilled into it in 1986, they found an entire ecosystem surviving without sunlight. The air was toxic, rich in hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide. Yet hundreds of species thrived, blind insects, translucent worms, and creatures unlike anything known. Their DNA diverges completely from life above ground. The cave's atmosphere sustains itself, recycling gases through bacteria that glow faintly. Biologists called it a miracle. But one researcher wrote in her notes, "It feels like the cave knows we're here." And then, there's Agartha, the city said to exist inside the earth itself. Myths from Tibet to Scandinavia speak of tunnels leading to a radiant inner world ruled by beings of immense wisdom. Explorers claim to have found openings in the Himalayas, the Andes, and Antarctica. Compasses spin near them. Birds fly in and never return. Scientists call it legend. Yet seismic readings occasionally detect vibrations too deep to be explained, hollow echoes beneath the mantle. If the earth hides a heart, maybe it beats in that unseen world. From frozen mountains to burning deserts, from cities beneath the sea to valleys of light, our planet is a masterpiece of secrets. Science explains much, but not all. Perhaps these mysteries endure not because we lack knowledge, but because the earth doesn't want to be fully known. Some doors, once opened, can't be closed. Some questions, once asked, echo forever. The planet listens. And sometimes it answers, in lightning, in stone, in silence. Deep in South America, a cave called Cueva de los Tallos hides beneath the jungle floor. Inside are passages carved into smooth, geometric patterns that shouldn't exist in nature. Right angles, polished walls, even metallic plates etched with symbols no one can translate. Explorers who entered claim they heard mechanical sounds echoing deeper within. When scientists tried to explore further, their equipment malfunctioned. Compasses spun, lights dimmed. The deeper they went, the stronger the metallic smell became, like electricity in the air. Locals say it's a place where the earth remembers its creators. Researchers call it impossible. In the middle of the Atlantic, sonar has revealed a ridge stretching thousands of miles beneath the ocean. At its highest point, enormous blocks appear arranged in lines, too regular to be coincidence. Some call it the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the scar of continental drift. Others whisper it is the spine of Atlantis itself. The currents there are unpredictable, and even modern submarines report pressure spikes and magnetic interference. Cameras record orbs of light moving through the black water, each the size of a man's fist, pulsing like living creatures. Scientists call it bioluminescence. But no one has captured one alive. At the edge of Siberia, in Yakutia, stands a valley known as the Valley of Death. It's scattered with enormous metallic domes half buried in the earth, each shaped like a shallow bowl, made of a metal unknown to science. Locals say the domes appeared after thunder that shook the sky. Hunters who slept inside them grew ill and died within days. Radiation surveys show nothing unusual, yet compasses fail and animals refuse to enter. The domes stay warm even in winter. Some researchers claim they've seen symbols glowing faintly on the surface at night. The government banned expeditions there decades ago. Officially because of environmental danger. Unofficially because no one returns the same. In the Indian Himalayas lies Rupkund Lake, known as Skeleton Lake. When the snow melts, hundreds of ancient skeletons appear around its edges. Some still have flesh preserved by the cold, their skulls cracked by blunt force. The bones date to different centuries, yet all show identical injuries, as though struck from above. Legends say the gods hurled ice stones upon a group of travelers who disrespected a sacred song. Scientists found traces of waterborne pathogens in some remains, but not enough to explain the trauma. The mystery endures. What storm leaves wounds like hammers? Travel north to Alaska's Triangle, a region even pilots avoid. Stretching from Anchorage to Juneau and Barrow, it swallows planes and hikers like the Bermuda Triangle of the North. Entire aircraft disappear without a trace. Electronic equipment fails. Weather shifts instantly from calm to chaos. Natives speak of shapeshifters called the Kushtaka, spirits that lure travelers with familiar voices. The U.S. military has documented magnetic anomalies and radar distortions there, but no explanation fits. Some maps mark it quietly as restricted airspace, though no reason is given. The wilderness keeps its secrets frozen in the snow. Off the coast of Cuba, divers discovered stone formations arranged in grids, massive blocks forming roads and pyramids beneath 700 meters of water. The structures were too large to be shipwrecks, too symmetrical to be natural. Sonar images showed stairs, platforms, and pillars stretching for kilometers. The find was never fully published, and the footage disappeared. Officials claimed it was a technical misreading. The divers insisted otherwise. They called it the City of the Deep. To this day, the coordinates remain unlisted on official maritime charts. In the scorching plains of Ethiopia lies the Church of St. George, carved entirely from a single piece of volcanic rock descending deep into the ground. Its precision is baffling. The walls are perfectly straight, the windows aligned to the stars. Built over 800 years ago, it shows no tool marks. Legends say it was carved by angels overnight, glowing with light as they worked. Scientists cannot explain how the builders removed thousands of tons of rock without cracks or debris. Even stranger, the ground around the church absorbs sound. Footsteps vanish, voices fade. It's as though the earth itself is listening. In the forests of Indonesia, on Mount Padang, an ancient pyramid hides beneath vegetation. It looks like a hill until ground-penetrating radar reveals layers of chambers descending far below. Carbon dating shows parts of it are over 25,000 years old, older than any known civilization. Beneath the surface, walls made of basalt blocks are aligned magnetically to the planet's north. Instruments detect energy fields pulsing through the structure, rising and falling with the moon. Geologists call it a natural formation. But those who've been there say they felt vibrations in the ground, like a heartbeat waiting to be heard. In Mexico's Cave of the Crystals, the world glitters in deadly beauty. Giant selenite crystals stretch over 30 feet long, glowing faintly in the light. The heat is unbearable, over 50 degrees, and the air thick with minerals that scorch the lungs. Scientists exploring it found microbes trapped inside the crystals, dormant for over 50,000 years, and still alive when revived. It's a window into life's persistence, yet no one can explain how organisms survived sealed in solid stone. The cave now lies sealed again, protected from the curious, perhaps also from what might wake inside. In the deserts of Saudi Arabia, mysterious stone gates dot the landscape, long, narrow rectangles built from stacked rocks, visible only from the air. There are hundreds of them, some older than the pyramids. Their purpose is unknown. They lead nowhere, open into nothing. Bedouins call them the works of the ancients. Archaeologists found no artifacts, no graves, only silence. They stretch across the lava fields like messages written to the sky, as if someone long ago was trying to be seen from above. In Antarctica, satellites have spotted circular openings in the ice, massive sinkholes that appear close and reappear miles away. Inside, strange heat signatures flicker. Scientists blame geothermal activity. But thermal cameras capture symmetrical shapes, hexagonal outlines like man-made tunnels. Explorers once claimed to find cave entrances large enough for aircraft. The footage never surfaced. The government forbids civilian flights over certain coordinates, citing environmental protection. Some believe the frozen continent hides remnants of ancient civilizations, or the entrance to Agartha itself. Everywhere on Earth, from the peaks of the Himalayas to the bottom of the oceans, there are places that challenge everything we think we know. Some are born of nature, others of hands forgotten. But what they share is resistance to explanation, to certainty, to control. Maybe the planet keeps these secrets for a reason. Maybe mystery is the only defense Earth has left against the arrogance of its children. Science will keep digging. Satellites will keep mapping. But there will always be points on the map where compasses fail, where instruments break, where logic collapses into wonder. Because not everything on this planet was meant to be understood. Some things exist simply to remind us that we are guests here, walking upon a world that still whispers to itself. Maybe that's the true mystery of Earth. It was never meant to give us all its answers. Every mountain peak, every deep ocean trench, every spark of light in the night sky seems to whisper the same message. There's more than we can see, more than we can prove. The closer we get to understanding, the more the unknown expands. Science maps what it can measure, but mystery thrives in the spaces between those measurements, in the flicker of a compass gone mad, in a sound that has no source, in the silence of a place that feels alive. Perhaps the Earth doesn't hide its secrets from us. Perhaps it's protecting us from them. Every strange current, every vanishing signal, every echo beneath our feet might not be a problem to solve, but a message. You are not the first to ask, and you will not be the last. So we keep searching. We send submarines into the black, rockets beyond the sky, and still, we come back to the same question. What is this world really? A planet, a living being, or a memory of something older than time itself? Maybe some answers were never meant for us. Maybe the real wonder isn't in discovering everything, but in realizing that even in 2025, with satellites watching every inch of the globe, there are still places on Earth that scientists can't explain. And that's what keeps the world beautiful. The mystery is the heartbeat of the planet, and it still beats strong beneath our feet.